So once people decide that they do want to create a great place to work, they often ask us how they should get started. And that's actually a very difficult question. Because when you think about relationships, any relationship, let alone the relationships of trust, pride, and camaraderie, they are so intertwined, and there's many, many ways to begin building those relationships. It becomes difficult to boil it down to a few key things to think about. But we're going to try to do that today and give you a few things to go away with and start doing even tomorrow.
So the very first one Jennifer and I talk about is the 60-second rule. And the 60-second rule is this: with your employees, take the extra 60 seconds to talk with them. Ask them about how their day is, about their son or daughter's Little League game, to ask them about kind of how they're doing, or providing feedback about how they're doing, giving them recognition. Taking that extra 60 seconds really matters.
And the second is to find and acknowledge what's already going well in your department. And this is actually a lot more difficult than it may seem. Michael and I have worked with several leaders on survey data where they're looking at a 60% on their survey and thinking, I have so much to do to get this up to 100%. And actually, what we try to do is to reframe their thinking and say 60% of people are experiencing this relationship. They are experiencing a great place to work. How can you make that relationship or that experience extend to everyone in your work group? Or how can you create an environment where that happens more often? That's the way you create a great place to work. You find what's going well and build upon that, rather than thinking that you're starting from scratch all the time. So second challenge, go find what's already going well in your department. That's the place you'll start to build. And the third thing that we'll suggest to you is actually something that the Institute is built upon, and that is best practices. We challenge you to go find best practices, maybe those in a colleague's department, or maybe those in another region or another location of your organization. Maybe those from another company that's in your industry, or maybe even a best practice from a company that's outside your industry. You can learn a lot from what other people have done to create strong relationships at work. So the third challenge that we'll extend to you is to go find those and see if any of those would make sense to implement in your own department.
That's right, Jennifer. So those are 3 things that you can do tomorrow to start creating a great place to work. But realize that regardless of what you do and how you start this, the journey will be built upon trust, pride, and camaraderie.